Welcome back to Sacred Clues. Did you know that there is a book that was once quoted in the Bible, but was later completely removed? The Book of Enoch, a mysterious ancient text that tells of fallen angels, the Nephilim giants, and the Day of Judgment, was deliberately excluded by the established church. But why? Who sought to conceal it? And could it contain dark secrets about humanity's past? Let's uncover the truth in this episode. There is a book so ancient, so mysterious, that it was once considered scripture, but was later erased from history. A book that describes a world before the flood, a world where angels descended from the heavens, took human wives, and bore giants known as the Nephilim. A book that speaks of a divine judgment unlike any other. But why was it removed? Who decided it was too dangerous? And could the truths hidden within its pages change the way we see the Bible today? This is the untold story of the Book of Enoch. The Book of Enoch is one of the most controversial and enigmatic texts in history. Its origins trace back thousands of years, to a time when the spiritual realm and the physical world were closely intertwined. For centuries, it was revered. It was read by early Jewish communities and Christian leaders. Even the New Testament makes direct references to it. And yet, it was suddenly cast aside, labeled as heretical, and almost lost forever. Why? Some say it was because the book contained revelations too profound, too unsettling for the religious authorities of the time. Others suggest that it threatened the power structures that were forming within the early church. Today, the only Christian denomination that still includes it in their official canon is the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. But why would one branch of Christianity keep it while others abandoned it? To uncover the truth, we must go back to the source, to examine its contents, to see what it says about the Watchers, the Nephilim, the coming judgment, and the fate of the fallen angels. And to ask the question, was this book removed to protect us from dangerous knowledge? Or was it erased to keep us from uncovering a hidden truth? In the New Testament, the book of Jude makes a direct reference to Enoch. Enoch, the seventh from Adam, prophesied about them as sea. The Lord is coming with thousands upon thousands of his holy ones to judge everyone and to convict all of them of all the ungodly acts they have committed in their ungodliness. Sif Jude 114:15. This passage is nearly identical to a verse from the Book of Enoch, proving that the early Christian writers were aware of it. But why, then, did it not survive in the modern biblical canon? To understand this, we must look at how the Bible was compiled. The earliest Hebrew scriptures did not include Enoch in what became the Tanakh, the Jewish Bible. The early church fathers debated which books were divinely inspired, and by the time the official biblical canon was established at the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD, Enoch was left out. But why? The reasons may surprise you. The Book of Enoch contains stories unlike anything found in other biblical texts. It describes a rebellion in heaven, where a group of 200 angels, called the Watchers, descended to earth. They took human wives and taught forbidden knowledge a weapon, making astrology, sorcery. Their offspring, the Nephilim, were giant, hybrid beings, violent and unholy. God saw this corruption and, according to Enoch, sent the great flood to cleanse the earth. This account aligns with Genesis 6:1-4, which briefly mentions the sons of God taking human wives and producing the Nephilim. But Enoch goes further, naming these angels, detailing their sins, and explaining how they were bound and cast into darkness, awaiting judgment. Was this too much? Did religious leaders fear that acknowledging Enoch's writings would force them to answer uncomfortable questions about these fallen beings? Another reason could be its apocalyptic prophecies. The Book of Enoch describes a final judgment where the wicked are punished and the righteous are exalted. Its vivid descriptions of heavenly realms, angelic beings, and cosmic battles go beyond what the canonical scriptures provide. Did early church leaders see it as a theological threat? Was it considered too radical, too revealing, too dangerous to include? There is another layer to this mystery that is often overlooked. The only Christian tradition that still preserves the Book of Enoch as scripture is the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. This is significant. Ethiopia has long been linked to biblical history. Home to ancient Jewish communities, the Ark of the Covenant, and some of the earliest Christian traditions. Could it be that this book was preserved in Ethiopia because it was central to the faith of early African believers? And if so, why was its connection to Africa erased from mainstream Christian history? Scholars suggest that as Christianity spread through Europe, the influence of African and Middle Eastern traditions was systematically diminished. The removal of Enoch may be just one part of a larger effort to rewrite the narrative of Christian origins. The Vatican has been accused of withholding secret texts from the public. Some believe the Book of Enoch is among them. Is there more to this book that the Church does not want the world to see? Another theory suggests that the stories in Enoch may not just be religious allegories, but historical accounts of ancient extraterrestrial encounters. Some researchers point to descriptions of luminous beings descending from the heavens, sharing knowledge with mankind, and ultimately being punished for their interference. Could Enoch's watchers be the ancient astronauts of early civilizations? And then there is the prophecy. The Book of Enoch predicts a time of great upheaval, where corruption is exposed and divine justice is delivered. Could we be witnessing the fulfillment of these prophecies today? Despite being removed from the Bible, the Book of Enoch refuses to disappear. Its influence can be found in early Christian texts, in Ethiopian tradition, and in the echoes of biblical scripture. If this book was so dangerous, so controversial, so powerful that it had to be erased, then we must ask ourselves, what were they trying to hide? Perhaps it is time for us to seek the truth for ourselves, to read the words of Enoch, to question history. What do you think? Should the Book of Enoch be reconsidered? Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep explorations into biblical mysteries. And join us next time as we unveil the shocking truth about the Watchers, the angels who defied heaven itself. The past is not as distant as we think. The truth is waiting to be discovered.